So earlier today, like less than an hour ago, I was editing and Ken messaged me and said, hey, I just sent you a Deoxys invite. Not sure if you can make it, but here it is. And here I am, soloing another Deoxys attack form based on the recommendations. I'm gonna say this one has Zap Cannon because it's trying to give me all ground types. Still just gonna go straight Tyranitar. Should be okay, right? Actually, I could do, probably drop the Gengars in there if this is Zap Cannon. We'll try it. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I have to mention this just because of the reaction last time, but yeah, I'm not a speed time soloist. King, though. King soloed Deoxys with one Weavile. I think he did it with one Honchkrow. It's crazy. So, if you're looking for solos, King. Ouch. What's up? How's it going, man?
Yeah, dude. Nick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch your video sometime.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Just dodge. Oh, it's so much better. Definitely dodge the Zap Cannon. Oh, couldn't get the dodge off there. Alright, definitely dodge with Gengar. Uh-oh, here it is. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We're good. Safe. Should be fine. This is looking actually so much better than my first attempt, since I'm actually able to dodge these Zap Cannons a lot easier than Dark Pulse. Oh, no, can't dodge that one. That's the Ender. Oh man. I don't think I'm gonna beat 100 seconds, but I'll definitely be in the 90s. Well, if Mewtwo survives. Nope, I'm gonna have to relog. Relobby? Probably gonna have to relobby here. Oh, so close. So close to 100 seconds. We'll just jump back in with whatever's recommended. Let's go. It's just a couple ticks left on its HP there. And these, well, weather boosted, first of all. Nice and sunny out here in Southern California. Dang. Definitely hurts my time, though. I could have just max revived like one Gengar and gone through this a lot faster, but here we go. A much better solo time than my first attempt. Also, not trying to end this one with shiny Luxio, so a little more efficient the second time around. And there it goes, 56 seconds. Improvement, right? $13.99, not an improvement on the IVs. Also, didn't have a Lucky Egg on, but I guess that's fine. Here we go. Second Deoxys. Does it want to do anything? There it is. There we go. Second Deoxys attack form. That's that. A little bit of Stardust for the research. Alright, next up, pizza. That's Ken's idea. We're doing some PvP. Probably with no audio because there's music playing, but here we go. What are we doing? Best of 3?
Yeah, best of 3, okay?
Okay. So the music actually wasn't that loud. I probably could have used the audio from this clip. But instead, what I'm going to do is do a little bit of voiceover and kind of explain the choices that I'm making and just like the thoughts behind them to maybe help anyone who's interested in improving at PvP, especially with the Sylph League Arena official ranked season starting this Sunday, January 6th. You'll be able to hold your first Boulder Cup tournament. You'll be able to start holding ranked tournaments in your community. So here we go, just kind of a play-by-play of my PvP choices. So first of all, let's start with the team. This is a pretty meta-focused team. Altaria is definitely one of the top tier Pokemon in Great League. Skarmory covers a lot of Altaria's weaknesses, and Meganium is just a beater against the bulky water types that are common in Great League. So for Altaria, I'm running Dragon Breath, Dragon Pulse, Sky Attack. Dragon Breath is absolutely one of the best quick moves in PvP. Sky Attack, very strong attack, and then Dragon Pulse. There are better Dragon type charge moves, but Dragon Pulse, obviously on Altaria, is still going to be very strong in pretty much every matchup, neutral matchups especially. and then against the dragons, other dragon types. Super effective damage there. On Skarmory, I'm running Air Slash, Flash Cannon, and Sky Attack. That's another Sky Attack, more flying type moves. The reason though that I'm running Skarmory is that it resists or at least takes neutral damage from a lot of Alteria's counters. Anything that's using Ice type moves is going to deal neutral damage to Skarmory. Anything using Fairy type moves to kill Altaria is going to deal not very effective damage to Skarmory, and then that Skarmory can come back against a Fairy or Ice type Pokemon with Flash Cannon. Although Ice type Pokemon are actually not common in Great League, it's usually other types of Pokemon using Ice type moves. But still, Skarmory's only weaknesses are Fire and Electric. Fire is not common at all in Great League. Electric is fairly rare, I would say. And then finally, Meganium is just one of the highest TDO Pokemon in pretty much every neutral matchup. Vine Whip, super strong fast move. Frenzy Plant, incredibly powerful charge move. And then Earthquake is there for coverage. Any potential fire types that come in against Meganium, Earthquake's there to counter those. And again, like I said, Meganium is mainly because a lot of people are running bulky water types like Azumarill, Whiscash, Swampert or Marshtomp, even Quagsire in Great League. And Meganium is a great choice against all of those. So let's get into the actual battle. I'm going up against Metagross as a lead. And what I'm doing basically is just watching how much damage we're dealing to each other with our fast moves. And I can see that we're kind of going down at an equal rate. So I've decided not to switch. He didn't shield the Sky Attack there, so I mean I've got him down to really low HP. I know he's charging up for a Meteor Mash, and then he goes for the switch. An important thing is to take a mental note of where your opponent's HP is at when they switch out, so that you can be aware of that when they switch back in. Gyarados comes out next. I know Gyarados could potentially, if it's Legacy, have a Twister, which would be super effective. Regardless, I'm switching to Skarmory. He's probably using Crunch since it charged up fairly quickly. That's dealing neutral damage. Skarmory has really high defense, so no need for a shield against a small move like Crunch. I hit him back with the Sky Attack. Depending on whether or not he shields, he does shield, so that's 2 shields down already, and I'm at a huge advantage here because I have both of my shields left. Deciding whether or not to shield, I will shield because now with both of our charge moves down, I can finish him off quickly with my fast moves and then move on to the next Pokemon and have a Sky Attack ready to go. It is Metagross, but I'm going to use the Sky Attack right away because that locks him out of damage and then finishes him off. So now he's down to his last Pokemon. It's Rhyperior, which is going to take out Skarmory, but I have the perfect counter for this, and this match is pretty much over. I still have a shield, and I mean, double super effective damage from the grass-type moves. Use the shield just to be safe, but Surf is not going to deal much damage at all regardless, and then Frenzy Plant will finish off the Rhyperior. For the next set of battles, again, we decided to do Great League, and the lead is Forretress, which is a fairly common choice. It's similar in its role to Skarmory. It's also great against grass types like Meganium, which are fairly common. And I went for the early switch because I know that Altaria is not the best neutral matchup. I'm thinking about the moves here. I'm not sure exactly what it has. Rock Tomb, I decide not to shield. Again, neutral damage to Skarmory, which is why I love Skarmory. It takes reduced or neutral damage from a lot of Pokemon. I know Sky Attack's going to deal back neutral damage, but still significantly more damage than Rock Tomb. And now we're kind of just racing. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to kill before the charge move came out, but luckily it didn't deal that much damage. Could have any number of moves, so I don't know exactly what to expect here. I go for the Sky Attack, get at least a shield out of it, and luckily can get off one more Sky Attack before Skarmory goes down. Deals solid damage. Not going to shield, I'm going to let the Skarmory go. And Grass Knot, make a mental note of that. I'm going to send back out Altaria, and Altaria should, ideally, if we stop lagging, should be able to finish off Mew with just Dragon Breath, not needing a charge move. And that's exactly what happens. Now I have both charge moves powered up, ready to go for Swampert. Waited a little bit longer there before committing to a charge move. Wanted to see what the opponent was going to be. Remember, I do have Meganium exactly for this situation, but now I've gotten all of Swampert's shields, or all of my opponent's shields down, and it looks like Meganium might not even be necessary. This is probably an Ice-type move. Nope, it's Surf. I'm expecting an Ice-type move from Swampert, but I guess that wasn't enough time to charge up. So, there goes that battle. I spent a little bit of time contemplating whether or not I should switch any Pokemon out on my team, but I decided to run in with the same team. Again, it's a fairly well-balanced team, and obviously I've had a good amount of success with it so far, so I'm running with it. With the Drifblim lead, I really had no idea what to expect because it's not a common Pokemon in the metagame. I didn't even know what moves a Drifblim had, which is one advantage you can gain by using Pokemon outside of the metagame. You can kind of surprise opponents and they won't know what to expect. Drifblim is, it doesn't have the best defense, but it does have high HP. And then it surprised me right there with the Icy Wind. I didn't know that that was one of its moves, and that dealt a significant amount of damage to my Altaria. With another Icy Wind here, I decide to shield, because at least after the shield, I can use Sky Attack, and that should, without a shield, finish off the Drifblim. But now, at least out of that, I got 2 shields, and Dragon Breath is just that much stronger than whatever Drifblim's fast attack was. So I actually come out ahead in that matchup, and I go now for Skarmory, which again, like I said, is a great cover to Altaria's weaknesses. Against another Altaria, it's not going to have any moves that deal super effective damage. In fact, Skarmory is going to resist Altaria's moves, so I don't need to shield here. And not very much damage at all. My opponent's forced to switch to Muck. Again, I'm going to resist Muck's moves, so I'm not in a bad position here at all. Muck probably has Dark Pulse and Gunk Shot, neither of which are really a big threat to Skarmory. And now I do go down to my last Pokemon, but because of the HP differential here, and because I do have this last shield, I'm in a solid, strong position. So I'm really not too worried about it. I'm going to try to get Muck down without using a charge move, and now I can just immediately fire off a charge move, neither of which are going to be super effective against Altaria, but I can at least use them quickly, and then it becomes a race of, well, I had plenty of energy charged up. Had I not had energy saved up, the Altaria could have possibly gotten to Sky Attack before I charged up another one, but luckily I was able to get that off, and there it is. Oh my god, this really just happened?
Just like, no, I just looked at it.
It's on the way to the house.
Yeah.
It was on the way to the house, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
It's so high too.
Yeah, my neighborhood has a lot of fantasy things.
We're playing
Wait, where's
Mario
our
Party,
level
but
34. Oh my god.
plus the Sandshrew on the way. I want it. I want it so bad.
I took out that Luigi. Woo!
We're both Mario Party losers today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna trade you something really old.
Mm-hmm.
This really old Kabuto.
What is that? 2016?
July
7th?
9th.
Ooh.
That's like the oldest Pokemon that I think I'm willing to trade.
Okay.
Let's see.
Good luck. Hope for a hundo. I gave her a hundo Sneasel the other day.
Okay. Ken's kind of my shiny dealer, so
I give him my extras.
half the unique shinies I have probably came from you. Alright. Oh, come on.
Lucky.
July 9th.
Luck. Oh, no. But nah, no lucky.
Dang it.
Is it good?
It's really strong. But I need, for
Yeah.
PvP, I need the hundo.
Yeah, you need a hundo.
That was a July 9th Kabuto. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna face you like this.
Alright.
I'm doing it. Ken has consistently been my most difficult PvP opponent. I think you're the only person who's like consistently beaten me.
Oh yeah?
Everyone else that I play, oh god, of course. Of course. This is not a good matchup. This is a perfect example of leading into a horrible matchup. So I try to charge up a little bit of energy, but then I immediately go for the switch, knowing that I'm already at a disadvantage. Because Ken can now, just as he does, switch in against my Pokemon. It's not the worst matchup for Meganium, but Frenzy Plant obviously is not going to deal much damage at all. And I'm expecting Sky Attack out of him, so I take it back. This is a terrible matchup for Meganium. But I am able to get out some quick Frenzy Plants, and Ken here is choosing to save his energy. And this is one of the reasons why I say he's probably one of the hardest opponents that I have, is because of his decision making. Obviously we're using similar Pokemon, we're both using top tier Pokemon, but his decision making is often what makes a difference in our battles. Here, however, I think he held it a little bit too long. He does have his energy fully charged up, so he is able to fire off a move immediately. Knowing Skarmory's moves, I choose not to shield. The mistake here, though, was that he saved up for Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam takes 70 energy. Had he used something like Sky Attack, which only takes, I believe, 40 energy, he would have been able to use 2 in immediate succession before I could actually use a move. But since he used Dazzling Gleam, he did have to get a couple more quick attacks in before being able to use something else. Now, Melmetal is a great Pokemon across all leagues, and definitely a very good counter to Skarmory, because there it is, electric moves. Thundershock charges moves really quickly. Thunderbolt is going to deal great damage to Skarmory, so I'm forced to use 2 shields here. My Sky Attack going back at him is actually going to deal, I mean, a decent amount of damage, but he's probably going to have another Thunderbolt ready, and I'm out of shields. I'm at a huge disadvantage here. No shields to 1 shield. With only Altaria left, I already know he has counters ready for this. I maybe could have gotten away with just Dragon Breath there, but I did use the Sky Attack to be safe. Unfortunately, Azumarill comes back out, and remember, he did have energy saved up when he switched out, so that when he does bring the Azumarill back in, it's ready to go with the Ice Beam right away. So heading into our rematch, what I'm thinking about here is how do I come in better prepared for both Melmetal and Azumarill. My thought process is replacing Skarmory with Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck serves as a counter to Azumarill, just as Skarmory does. And then my plan is also to make sure I save Meganium for Melmetal. Meganium is going to be my best counter to Melmetal. It's going to resist the electric type attacks, and then it has Earthquake to deal super effective damage back to Melmetal.
Oh my god.
I also chose to lead with Alolan Muck, expecting Azumarill as the lead, but he leads with Dusclops, and that's a good matchup for me, because Dark is going to be super effective against Ghost. I'm not sure what moves Dusclops has, but I'm expecting Ice Punch and maybe another quick Ghost move like Ominous Wind. He does shield my Dark Pulse, which is a good choice because it's going to deal a ton of damage. But here, I'm just kind of sussing out the moves. I'm expecting Ice Punch, and as I expected, not much damage at all. So I am able to win that matchup, force a switch, and he goes to Melmetal. Luckily, Melmetal takes at least neutral damage from Dark Pulse. And with Stab, that's a surprising amount of damage onto Melmetal. And now, I can switch into Meganium, which I had saved for Melmetal. Unfortunately, because I switched at the same time that he uses a charge attack, there's a bug, and the game freezes. We replayed the same exact matchup, tried to do the exact same thing, and I switched at the exact same time, and we froze again.
Oh my god, again? Did I break it again?
Don't tell me you broke it.
I broke it again.
No, you
I broke it again.
You did?
I've broken
Okay,
again.
your switches are too.
My switches are too well timed. Can we get this fixed? Can we get this fixed, please? So the third time, we did the exact same thing, but I switched a little earlier, although it's not ideal. I held my switch, or I used my switch a little earlier. Now we're in good position here, where I'm ready. I have the advantage. I go with the Frenzy Plant to see if I can bait a shield out of him. He doesn't go for the shield, but then I see how much damage Frenzy Plant actually deals. And with that much HP left, I think just using another Frenzy Plant is better than even going for the Earthquake. He either goes for the shield, actually beats me to the charge attack. I decide not to shield, which is kind of risky, but I can immediately go for the Frenzy Plant. And now I have a tiny bit of HP left, but Meganium did serve the purpose that I wanted it to, which was to beat Melmetal. He comes out with the Azumarill, and because I resist Bubble, I take so little damage from his quick move, I'm able to get another Frenzy Plant and force his last shield. And now with the Azumarill out, I have another counter prepared. That's my Monk. My Gunk Shot. Muck with Gunk Shot. And that's just going to destroy Azumarill with super effective poison damage. He's got Dusclops, he's probably using Ice Punch here, and we already know how this matchup goes. One Dark Pulse, and this battle is over. A handy win. I still have 2 Pokemon, and, well, there's 1 shield, but I still have another shield left after this. So by making the right choices, by choosing the right counters to what I've seen from his team, I was able to gain an advantage. And when you're playing by Sylph League Arena rules, that's going to be one of the main points of strategy, because you're going to be able to see your opponent's team of 6 before going into a battle, and you can choose your 3 Pokemon for each battle based on what you're seeing from your opponent. So by making the right choices, by choosing the correct Pokemon to potentially counter what they're doing, you can gain an advantage that way. For our final battle in the best of 3, I decided to switch out Altaria for Kingdra, because I felt like it might have a little bit better matchups against what Ken could potentially be running. It's not going to be super weak to Ice. In fact, it's going to be neutral against Ice that we could potentially see from Azumarill. Unfortunately, I think that was a bad choice on my part. So going into the battle, I'm again leading with Muck. He predicts that and leads with something other than Azumarill. It's Gyarados, and I know, because I've battled Ken before, that this is a Legacy Dragon Breath Gyarados. You can see how much damage that Dragon Breath is dealing to my Muck. He's going to get a move off, and it comes out quickly, so I'm not expecting too much damage. It's Crunch. It's not very effective. I'm going to hit him back with Dark Pulse right away. He does shield, but my Muck is already taking so much damage. I don't have anything good to switch into, and I waste time and lose damage by contemplating the switch. I know I can't send Kingdra in because of that Dragon Breath. It's going to deal more damage to me than I would deal back to the Gyarados, because the Gyarados takes neutral damage from Dragon Breath. He switches now into a Forretress, and I do have Earthquake for Forretress, which kind of surprises him here. It deals neutral damage, but it's still not exactly enough.
I don't have anything before the Earthquake. Boom. Wow, Nick.
I'm forced to shield there, but then I can use Frenzy Plant, which does not deal much damage at all. But I'm not going to be able to get up to an Earthquake.
Okay.
It's not a good matchup. And my Vine Whip is not very effective against Fortress, so I go down to quick moves, and I'm at a terrible, terrible disadvantage here.
Let's do this.
2 Pokemon and a shield on his side. In this neutral matchup, I lose because my moves just take that much longer to charge up, and Ken does have a shield, and I'm dead. So bad choice bringing the Kingdra in, but good games. I did take 1 game off of them. And you got a Sinnoh Stone out of it.
What happened?
I don't know. Same thing happened to me.
Oh, they didn't want me to win! The Monty Ball's here!
Hopefully that gives you a better idea of kind of my decision making that goes into what I'm doing in PvP. remember, Boulder Cup tournaments start this Sunday, so check with your local community, see if there's a tournament going on. Ranked play starts, well, tomorrow. Sunday is tomorrow. And then I know that not everyone is interested in PvP, but if you did enjoy this video, please let me know. Let me know if I should do more like this. I think this was probably too many battles for one video, but I would like to start working in a couple PvP battles, a couple interesting battles into videos more often, and then we can talk more about, obviously, the metagame. You saw a little bit of the meta there with the Pokemon that I was using and that Ken was using. That's a good glimpse into the Great League meta. Of course, remember, the Boulder Cup is a themed cup. You can use Fighting, Rock, Steel, and Ground-type Pokemon. Any Pokemon with at least one of those types is eligible in the Boulder Cup, so that's a completely different metagame altogether. But that makes it more fun. I'll link to a couple resources in the description that will give you a better idea of the metagame as a whole, at least in Great League. Actually, the Pokebattler link has a drop-down list that you can choose any league and even the Boulder Cup with just those types of Pokemon that I mentioned. So if you're interested in learning more about PvP metagames, links in the description. See you soon.